Hello everyone and welcome back to Chimes of Fregidia. This is episode 8 and this time we are talking about unicorns. And what about unicorns? Specifically, how not to get your unicorn back. If you want to know what that means, just sit back and enjoy the story. Again, citizens of Fregidia, welcome back to Chimes, the fastest and best informed news broadcast on the continent of Silverora. Today's report is dealing with war and unicorns, two topics that seemingly don't fit together. Can you tell us more, Franulf? Franulf. Of course, again. The Republic of Jarnon found itself wrapped in another diplomatic incident. This time around, the issue is centered around unicorns, or in this case, one particular unicorn named Crystal. Again, to provide a bit of context, unicorns are found exclusively in the Jarnon Republic. Historically, their only habitat were the meadows of Cerulia, because of their love for golden heather only growing there. Well, at least it was their only habitat, until Crystal decided to visit the neighboring country of Colterra. Franulf. We don't know the reason for the visit or its intended length. What we do know is that the second Jarnon learned about Crystal parading around the market of Colterra's capital Bulsa, they immediately demanded her return. Unicorns are Jarnon's shield animals, and Colterra would surely understand healthy concern. Their strongly worded letter sounded too order-like for Colterra to stomach. Again, Colterra released a statement proclaiming Jarnon has no business commanding another independent nation. One of the oldest countries on the continent and the only sovereign earldom would listen to nobody's orders. Franulf. The situation came to a head when Jarnon moved to threats. Jarnon's 10,000-headed army is nothing to laugh at. Colterra mobilized almost everybody capable of holding a weapon, women and elderly included. They still amassed only about 4,000 soldiers. Again, the Grand Earl of Colterra reached out to neighboring countries of Fregidia, Hakone, Nixoria, Helgar and Solmere to not only ask for aid, but to also form a League of Nations. The Earl warned his neighbors against Jarnon's growing hostility in both domestic and international relations. Franulf. Hakone enthusiastically responded in support of the idea. Nobody seems surprised after the country's disagreement over merfolk. Fregidia also showed support. Nixoria is open to negotiations, Helgard politely declined wanting to protect its policy of non-interference, and Solmere didn't provide any reply at all. Again, Helgard's and Solmere's neutrality lasted up to 4 days ago when Jarnon's soldiers crossed their borders to steal all the cattle and grain nearby. It could have been expected because a huge army on the move has to eat, borders be damned. Franulf. Emergency negotiations resulted in a provisory league that includes all the Silverora major players. Experts estimate the league could amass around 14,000 soldiers. The main issue is time. Jarnon's army is approaching Colterra faster than its allies can send soldiers. Nixoria's Griffon squad has been transporting metal cages full of soldiers from sunrise to sunset, but there is no way they will be able to get all their 1,200 soldiers in on time. Again, Fregidia's mages are working overtime to create and sustain a tunnel with a strong wind current inside of it to move its army. Hakone is sending their fastest ships while Helgard and Solmere are marching to Colterra. One unexpected ally in all this are Jarnon's unicorns. The unicorn tribe sent Jarnon a request to cease this march or suffer consequences. Jarnon's chief general Volvan tore it into pieces while laughing like a maniac. Franulf. Whether his will be the best and the last laugh will be clear tomorrow when Jarnon reaches Colterra's borders. Overall, the Provisory League managed to gather around 7,000 soldiers with more coming every day. Will it be enough to protect freedom of Silverora, or will we have to get used to Jarnon getting what it wants through sheer force? Watch our live broadcast from the battlefield to stay in touch, and above all, keep your fingers crossed for our brave soldiers. The morning of the battle. Again, Good morning, Silver Aura. May gods bless you on this hard day. 7,000 people, some of them are family, friends or acquaintances, are standing strong to protect us all. Our colleague from Morning News, Barnard Vanya, will be reporting from the war front. How does the situation look, Barnard? The camera cuts to a field that was green before it was stepped on by thousands of feet. Today it resembled bustling anthill. Soldiers on both sides were facing against each other in organized rows. The Jarnon's army was all clad in armor darker than the General Wolven's soul, while the joint forces of the League shone with different colors. Fregidia's light blue, Goltera's silver, Hakona's navy blue, red and gold of Mixoria, green branches of Helgard's pines, and Solmera's rainbow were mixed among many different styles and materials. Barnard. Greetings from the battlefield. Since the early morning, Jarnon soldiers have been singing songs that threaten acts of violence I wouldn't dare to repeat. Good attempt at intimidation, I'll give them that, but fortunately unsuccessful. We have been singing our own national and folk songs in return, reminding ourselves of what we are fighting for. In this exact moment, the Jarnon army suddenly fell silent and created space for a lone rider. Slowly, one of the biggest men on the continent arrived to sow fear into hearts of his enemies. Wolven was about 2 meters tall and built like a brick house. His face was marred by old scars and something that could have been a smile or a grimace of a madman. His face was filled with wildness. He roared and his army joined him. When they charged, you wouldn't find a soldier whose blood wouldn't run cold. Slowly, a few straggled voices started singing their own national hymns. The grip of terror on the soldiers seemed to break. When General Wolven swung his scimitar towards a Fregidian officer, the officer barely managed to raise his sword and close his eyes, believing it was all over for him. When he opened his eyes back up, he was shocked to find the entire field before him empty. Those who were watching saw a pink light that embalmed all of Jarnon's soldiers and whisked them away, to where nobody knew, at least for a while. A few hours later. Franulf. After the magical disturbance, Jarnon's army found itself back in Jarnon where it belongs. The Unicorn tribe claimed responsibility. Again. General Wolven has been trying to lead his army back to the battlefield, but he keeps getting sent back. Less and less men join in with each attempt. Franulf. The Unicorn tribe let it be known that they are ready to stall Jarnon for as long as is needed. This all could have been avoided if Jarnon simply asked the unicorns what they were up to. According to Chieftain Roshan, Crystal was sent to discuss the best fertilizer for the golden wren with Bulsa's master botanist Demetros. Nothing to make such a fuss over. Again, all's well that ends well. The conflict was laid to rest and the Unicorn tribe was awarded honorary membership of the League of Nations. For more reports and hopefully happy endings, turn in next time to Chimes of Fregidia. And I have to agree with Egan that all's well that ends well. I don't have much to say in a way of credit, so I'm just gonna ask you if you like my unicorn. I really like how this drawing turned out. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.